Welcome back, and I hope that in this week before the election, you have some time to enjoy yourself, whether it was celebrating Halloween or watching maybe a college football game or I don't know what else is going on, maybe pro football or a game of golf or something. Whatever you're doing, go out there, enjoy yourself, do something that gets your mind off of things that cause you stress. And today we're going to be reviewing this book by Dan Bongino called Follow the Money. Before I do that, though, I did want to do a couple house cleaning issues. So the first issue is I know that a couple people, and especially one person on my Etsy store, on my BitChute channel, bought something from my Etsy store, and I'm not sure yet whether it's going to go through. So I will try to let you know in the next few days because the supplier is delaying it or something. But if it doesn't come through, I will gladly refund your purchase. So those of you that are considering purchasing from the Etsy store, which I'll continue to host below, I think you should hold off and see where it goes because I think it just might be some sort of supplier scheduling issue, but I don't want to leave you hanging. Anyway, another thing I wanted to bring up, which is more important in general, is this new newsletter that I've started called it's Razor Sharp News Chronicle, and you can sign up for it. And I can actually, well, I can't show it to you right now, but I actually have, you know what? I think I can show a pilot at least. So basically, we have a lot of this, a lot of this issue with the media and the throttling of independent creators is something that we as um, we as creators, we have to overcome it. There's nothing that I can do to make my stuff more shareable on any of the legacy media, especially not YouTube or Facebook. So I started doing this newsletter. It is by email. You can sign up at this address, which I'm going to put in the description below. And now we'll get to the review. And I'm going to keep this up on the screen. But this is Follow the Money by Dan Bongino. And I will say it's somewhat like his previous two books, Spygate, which I have up there. And the other one I think is called Exonerated. And for those of you that are unfamiliar with the topic, these books deal mostly with the events happening since 2015 and 2016 concerning the Obama administration and Trump administration and the Russian interference in the election, or the alleged Russian interference. And this one goes a little bit in depth. Of course, there are some dedicated chapters to themes that aren't necessarily covered elsewhere, such as Catherine Rumler, who was an attorney with the Obama White House, who apparently had her hand in many of the attempts to squelch any oversight of the Obama administration's abuses of power. And while this book is, I would say, fairly comprehensive, it goes through a number of issues that, starting from 2016 and the whole Strzok Page issue where they were trying to implicate General Flynn, all the way through the Ukraine scandal of 2018 and 2019 that was used in order to justify the impeachment of Trump. And then finally, it gets up till a few months ago with the coronavirus. So it's not exactly a focused book. And I'd say that's one of the main flaws with this book. The other two books are a little bit more focused. And even with those, and this is just a criticism of him as just an author. I am a huge fan of his. But if you're looking for an in-depth study of these, this book is not it. It's not an in-depth study of any of the topics that are covered, but it is an overview of most of them, and it's a good primer. That's what I would say. If you're someone who hasn't really read in depth about it and you want to get started, it could be a good place to start. with any of the 3 books, but this one certainly would be fine. What I think is more helpful from him, from Bongino specifically, is that his podcast really does a lot of a lot of important work at updating people on the progress of many of these things, like the Durham probe, like the fallout from the Mueller report and the Inspector General report. And it's really been important for people who are geeks that are into this aspect of how our intelligence agencies have so grotesquely abused power. That's one of the reasons to listen to his podcast. I don't think the books are as good as the podcast, and that's a big criticism I have for Bongino. But for people who might not be necessarily well versed, the books are absolutely fine, and they could be like a good first read in order, and then you can move on to someone else like Greg Jarrett. And by the way, Peter Schweitzer, who didn't really have much to do with the Russiagate stuff, but more with the Biden Ukraine stuff. Excellent author. So if you want to start with this and then move on to, it's sort of up to you. And one final note regarding Bongino. He was recently diagnosed with some sort of very serious form of cancer. So whatever your opinion of his books, I think that, first of all, this could be his last book about such a topic. It could be, I mean, I'm sure that he would try to write a different book, more or less like a retrospective on his life. But those of us that have listened to his show and have read his books, and I would say that the best book of his is really, it's not any of the Spygate or like topic books. It's more the book Inside the Bubble, which gives a real perspective on the Secret Service and the type of lifestyle that they have to live, and the difficulties of it, and the day-to-day demands that are put on these people in order to protect not just the president, but the most high-level VIPs. Remember, Bongino was actually a Secret Service agent under Bush and Obama. So it's not as if he's someone who is averse to working for people that he disagrees with. And yes, he did retire from the Secret Service under Obama in order to pursue a life in politics. But I think that it's a testament to his character that he never abused that position in order to further his political goals. And that's about it. Please like, share, and subscribe. Also, remember to subscribe to me on all of the social media behind me. So whether you're on YouTube, BitChute, Minds.com, Subscribestar, if you want to throw a few bucks at me, I would rather, you can send me some money, but if you want to buy products instead, I actually appreciate that a little more. On Gab, as well as Library, if you want to watch videos there, Library or Odyssey, they're the same thing. Parler or Rumble. And also, like I said, this is the new MailChimp newsletter. So let me know if you want to start receiving it. I actually sent out the first edition yesterday. So take care, and we'll talk to you later.